have some parameters in this, but if they both live until 90, if they took their Social Security at 62, both of them, they would receive $300,000 less in benefits from Social Security than had they both waited until 70. That's a big difference for me, knowing if I could increase my benefits by $300,000 by possibly doing something else in order to maybe bridge the income gap. Is that going to make my position look better? I don't know, but it's one of the things that we look at in order to maximize all of your income streams.
And that goes along with the educational portion of all of it.
Absolutely. And maybe, maybe it's not right. Maybe someone has peace of mind by all of their money being in the market. That's fine. That's why there's chocolate and vanilla. We all have a choice, but I believe that we all should receive the same education about what our real choices are.
Right.
Maybe Wall Street decides, or maybe, big corporations, because they want our money in the market. They want us to keep our money at risk because that's how they make money. So annuities, another myth, or let's not say it's not a myth, but the information that I hear is the same thing. They're bad. You don't get your money back. Same stories. And they're all wrong, most of them in today's annuity products. Can you imagine earning 10 or 17% in an annuity, being able to keep that, never losing it in the future?
Yeah, that's huge.
Unheard of. But products have evolved because of the need from society. In 2008, annuities didn't have, you annuitize things and you chose, just like a pension plan, life or period certain. Well, after 2008, when bonds lost across the board as well, so there was nothing really available unless it was a bank product in the stock market that would give you that guarantee or safety other than a bond. Now, annuities have come up with income riders that no matter if you live to be 110 or if, you kick the bucket next year, you have the peace of mind in knowing as long as you live, provided, you own this product, you will have a guaranteed income for life, whether you run out of money or not. That's a peace of mind that a lot of people, or sleep insurance, that you can't put a price on. Not in today's world.
Oh, for sure. And I know that when it comes to just taking that first step, that's the part that's always scary for people. How do you go ahead and let people know that they're the ones that you have a conversation with them, and don't you think, oh my gosh, I can help you? Don't be afraid. It's you're not a used car salesman. Obviously there are some people out there that may be a little bit more like that, but there's always that person where you just want to kind of grab them and say, just give me the shot to help you. And I know that we can make things happen for you, and it's all going to be in the plus. You have no idea what you're missing out on. And because of your previous situation, that's where you were. So you have that life experience to show them, and your story of why you got in there makes that difference.
We just built our forever home a little north of Houston, a little over 2 acres in the woods. And when the market tanked in March of 30%, one day in March from the coronavirus, we were actually having quotes to finish the concrete on our driveway and possibly build an RV shed and maybe a shop for my husband. Normally, if your money's in the market and you're retired and your paychecks have stopped, if the market tanks 30%, you're not going to be putting in, $26,000 more worth of concrete and a huge shed. Well, we didn't do that. Instead, since things were becoming more virtual, we added an office as well. So I have my office in Kingwood. Right now I'm working still from inside the house, but we didn't build an office for me when we built here. This was the study for my husband. But if things are going to be more virtual, again, I don't do this to create or have a vision of a career. I do believe it is lifelong. It's not something that I chose, but it chose me, and it's done because I have a passion. The feeling of helping someone and walking someone through the fear and knowing, even the day that they leave their job, I know what's expected, and they have no idea what's in store for them. They're going to have all this fear of, oh my gosh, I don't have anywhere to go. Do I have meaning? And, my aunt even in the middle of the night was crazy one night thinking that what had she done? But she knew she could call me the next day and we could talk about it, and I understood her feelings. I've been there, and I think that America needs to hear this because it's just not something that's out there. At least take the time to learn and hear the true story. And I think what makes, like, back to your question about how do you get started in this because it's so scary, is I have lots of people they can talk to. A lot of my business is referrals. So after someone gets to know me and they see how I help them, they refer their friends or their coworkers. Right now, I have a lot of United employees with what's going on in the market. They weren't planning for retirement. They had no idea. So within a matter of days, they had to start thinking about their life as retirement, what they would do, can they afford it, what does it look like tomorrow? And I've been able to help these people. And I think that that's what it is for me, is the feeling of knowing that I've provided peace of mind for them. They know worst case scenario. They know what they've protected. They know what they have at risk. Who knows? Maybe they take that risk money and go, put it in something ultra aggressive. But when you protect your money and you know that no matter what the market does, you have enough money to continue the same lifestyle that you've become accustomed to, it provides, it just, I don't know, I feel that it's made retirement different for Tony and I, that, we don't have to stress or worry, unless I spend too much one month maybe or something, or him as well. But we know what tomorrow holds, and we know the worst case scenario.
I really, truly love your passion for it. You can hear it in your voice and the way you tell a story. Why don't you tell us about one of your favorite success stories?
Here is another successful solution story.
I can probably think of these all day long, but right now I've got a couple who I feel her husband is one of my biggest fans. Let's just call him Dan. And Dan worked for United and didn't feel the need, but his wife was worried because they were planning for retirement in a few years. They came to a Social Security college workshop that I was doing, and I think that she probably had to pull him, kicking and screaming the entire time. Well, she also was able to get him to an appointment, which at the end of that appointment is when he told me. He had no desire to go. He had no desire to be there. He had no desire to even schedule an appointment, which is what they had told my assistant in the beginning. And we're no pressure. If this isn't for you, then that's fine. Our objective and our mission is to educate you on the choices you do have available. So at the end of the appointment, he said, I have to tell you, I didn't want to be here, but what you've told me and the facts that you can see, because I don't just tell you things. I want you to be able to understand your retirement plan so that you can explain it to your neighbor. We're about protecting yourself from risk. So at the end of that appointment, he was like, whatever you say, whatever you think we should do, we are doing. I'm like, look, this is not for me to decide, because it's not about a cookie cutter retirement plan, which is what we received from the brokers that we were with previously. Everybody has, we all probably have the same concerns about retirement, but your situation and exactly what you need or what concerns you the most may be a little different from what mine is. So I'm about educating you. Who else knows your life, your plan, your needs better than you? I want to educate you enough so that you can decide. It's not for me to decide what's best for you. It's for me to educate you so that you can decide what gives you the most peace of mind.
And after that, he was sold, huh? And big smiles?
He was totally sold. That was a few years ago. Now they've just retired, going to build their forever home in a few years. They're looking and trying to decide where they're going to build. And he's sent me all of his coworkers and is just such a big fan of mine. He'll call me now sitting on the back patio enjoying retirement and tell me that he doesn't have to worry, that that's what my job is. And I don't have to worry either, because I know what I've done was in their best interest and put them in the best, products available to fit their needs. So I don't have to worry either. So it's a win-win situation for both of us.
That's a great story. And again, goes back to your passion and everything. And as we go along with this podcast, we're going to take different portions of retirement, and you're going to kind of break it down and give people a little bit more in depth about how different areas can help them out. And what might be right for one person is not necessarily right for another.
Right. Well, like you're talking about, we all need liquid money. We all need guaranteed safe money. And I'm not going to say we need it, but normally if you look at a balanced portfolio, you're diversified where you have your liquid money that you have access to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. But since there is no perfect investment as of yet, you've always got to give up something. So your risk and reward, you've got to weigh your risk and reward. What is most important to you? What are you willing to give up in order to gain that? That's what it's all about. So you need your liquid money. You need I call it green money, which is your safe money. And then whatever portion you can afford or you feel comfortable with, knowing you could make 30% in a few minutes or lose 30% in a few minutes. I tell my clients, don't risk more than you can afford to lose. We all get comfortable, and that goes back to the change. It's hard to change because we get complacent and we don't have an idea. Now we have to come up with a decision on what's best. But don't get comfortable in those plans of risk, and understand where we are today in 2020, that it's a lot different than when our parents retired 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Retirement plans and investment products are completely different than where they were.
That's amazing. And that's where it really shows that, everybody's story is unique. Everybody's financial health is like a thumbprint. They're all different. And again, we'll explore deeper into the world of retirement solutions on this podcast. And you're going to really teach us what it means to reimagine your retirement. So Tracie, It's been an absolute pleasure today. I can't wait to do more of these. You are so good at breaking it down into layman's terms that, again, don't sound so scary to the average Joe out there. And I truly believe that you want to help and make everybody's life a little bit better.
100%. So I'm here to make everybody feel comfortable, to talk about the elephant in the room, and to break it down so that you understand exactly what an annuity is, and not what your barber or your doctor or your friend or, somebody at bingo, not what they tell you, but that you have the facts. You understand how it makes money. You understand pros and cons for everything in order to empower you to make the best decision about what's best for your retirement.
And that's what makes this Retirement Reimagined. Tracie Lamson, always a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Retirement Reimagined with Tracie Lamson. For more episodes, remember to like, share, and subscribe. To contact Tracie, go to LamsonRetirementSolutions.com. Retirement Reimagined, produced by thepodcastproshop.com.